Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to make a small video today to show you how to properly do fillets on rockets. Generally, what happens is you'll put fillets on the fins and the launch lug, and what they do is they give you a little bit of added strength. Typically, when I go and kind of dry fit things and just do the first stage of gluing on a fin, I usually use Gorilla Glue, some type of super glue, and then the strength really comes from the fillets. I don't really rely too much on the actual, glued edge with the super glue to give me a whole lot of strength. It's more to get the shape, the proper alignment, and just get that fin affixed to the body. And then when I come back later and put the actual fillets in, that's where the strength comes from. And since these are low to mid-power rockets, you don't need a ton of strength. It's not like you have to epoxy them all the way through the body tube into the fin can or anything like that. So, real quick video. We got a couple things we're going to need. We're going to need some white glue, a little bit of masking tape, and that's about it. So let's get started. What we got going on here is a nearly completed Dured Max. This one flies on A, B, and C series motors. I've already glued the fins up, and these have had fillets put on them already, but I'm going to use this rocket to show you an example of how to do it correctly. So one thing to remember is that once you go ahead and finish the rocket and you put the fillets on them, don't set the rocket upright like this. So what will happen is that glue will run down and it'll actually make a big gob at the bottom, and it's really nasty looking, doesn't look clean. And so the proper way to do a fillet is to do, if you're doing whether 3-fin or 4-fin rockets or even more than that, just do 2 at a time and then tape the rocket down so it stays in position while those fillets set. Doesn't take them too long to dry. It goes rather quickly, but in order to make everything look nice and clean at the very end, I've found is the best way to do it. So what we're going to do is start off with a little bit of good old Elmer's white glue, and we're going to take and place just a tiny bead starting at the bottom of the fin. Doesn't take much, and just run it all the way to the edge. Now, if you have small areas where the glue isn't all the way filled in, that's okay, because what's going to happen is you're going to take your finger and run it all the way down, and then that will be nice and smooth. So always remember to start at the back of the fin, gently press your finger so it's touching both the fin and the body tube, and just bring it all the way down, just like so. And that's it. Make sure you touch up the edge a little bit, and it's simple as can be. And then what we'll do is we'll do the other side. Just real thin bead. You can go back later on and you could actually add more fillet to it, but what works best is just one at a time. Do a couple fins, wait for it to set up, then spin the rocket over and do the next set. But what we'll do in the meantime while this dries is we will place a little jar underneath and take some masking tape, which I've already got prepared. And we're just going to run this over the top. That way that rocket stays in place. Just like that. Doesn't take it much time for them to dry up. And then the good thing is that once you finish this up and you've actually gone on to the point where you're going to finish the rocket, you're going to spray it, and get the colors and everything, you can sand this, because what it'll do is the edge where you touch the actual fin, it's going to be a little rough, but just take some sandpaper to it. It tears it right down, makes a nice smooth finish, and you're ready to go. And that, folks, is how you do fillets.